Manga-Waido.
I'm Ishida Yamato, a high school student living in the countryside. My grandfather has been running an inn since my great-grandfather's generation. It's what you might call a long-established business. It's a simple inn, but it's thriving thanks to the presence of a tourist spot in the neighborhood. The high school I go to is about 10 minutes away by bicycle, so I sleep in until the last minute. My father always nags me to get up so I can help him with his work. Shut up! I was up late studying! How am I supposed to get up in the morning? Don't lie to me! You've been playing video games! You think you can take over the business like that? I'm not taking over. What? I'm off! It's not that I don't like the family business, but I want to choose my own path, and I have a yearning for the city. It's time for me to decide on a career path, but working at home wasn't an option for me at the moment. I'm going to somehow convince my father to let me go to the city. That's what I was thinking when one day... Welcome home, Yamato. I'm home. When I came home, my father was facing a strange family in the lobby. They didn't look like guests. They didn't even have any luggage with them. As I was wondering what was going on, my dad came over to me. Keep an eye on these two. And whispered that to me. From what I heard, this mother and son were staring blankly at the river from a bridge near a tourist spot. That means... yeah, it's very possible. I can't keep an eye on them because I have to work. I'm counting on you. I can't say no to something that involves a life. Are you hungry? Even if it's just a drink? I took them to the cafeteria and served tea and Japanese sweets. I didn't think it was a good idea to ask them too many questions, so I talked to her son, who seemed capable of understanding me. My name's Yamato Ishida. I go to Manhwa High School and I'm a sophomore. And you? I'm Takeru Uchiyama. I'm in 7th grade. 7th grade, huh? What's popular now? Card games were hot when we were kids. We play a lot of card games too, Takeru replied, but his mother remained downcast and didn't look up. As I was thinking how severe this situation was, the mother got up to go to the bathroom. I led her to the bathroom while looking out for her, and I talked to Takeru again. Your mother doesn't look well, but is she okay? Are you in some kind of trouble? If there's anything I can do to help, just let me know. Actually... Then he begrudgingly told me the story of how he came to be here. My father is strict. All he ever wants me to do is study. He even makes me skip dinner when I get bad grades. And my mother always gets beat for defending me. Seriously? Today my mother suddenly said, "I'm going for a walk. I'll be home late, but don't worry." I thought it was strange because she doesn't usually go out that far, and she rarely says things like that, so I followed her. His mother remained silent and continued riding the train, and after getting off here at the end of the line, she wandered around and got to the bridge. "Let's go home." She didn't move even when he called out to her. And then my dad walked by. It's almost dark. It's dangerous to be by the river at this hour. They were staring at the river for a long time until he called out to them. His mother came out of the bathroom just as I finished hearing that. I led them to the room my father told me to. They were very reserved. My father forced you over here, so don't worry about it. Please, take your time. I left the room after telling them. I immediately told my father what Takeru had told me. From there, it was quick. My father talked to them.
We will be leaving. We don't want to cause you any more trouble.
Don't worry. You can stay as long as you want. Actually, your son told us about your situation. I don't mean to be rude, but I don't think it's in your best interest to return.
That's true, but...
Why don't you take this up with the appropriate authorities? I'll introduce you to a lawyer you can trust. I know someone at the city office, so I can introduce you to them as well. I believe there's something called a shelter. Please, relax here until you get in touch with the person in charge.
Oh no, we can't cause you that much trouble!
This is a place to rest your mind and body. Don't worry, we won't charge for accommodation. Please feel free to take your time. We're on your side. After saying that much, the mother broke down in tears. Takeru also started crying. We watched them gently until they calmed down. After that, Takeru and his family entered a shelter for victims of domestic violence through the local government. And 3 months later,
I was able to get divorced safely and found a job. It's not much, but it's with accommodation. Thank you so much.
a letter of thanks arrived by registered mail. To that, my father said, "I see. Good for them." After that, he continued with business as usual and got back to work. He didn't say any more. I thought it was really cool for that. It made me want to be like him someday. And that's when I decided to take over the inn. To that, my father told me, "You're 100 years too young to call yourself an heir," with a warm smile. And my mother, who was the proprietor,
I'm glad you're making that decision.
she also smiled. I started working as a high school graduate, making mistakes and causing problems for those around me. But after a few years, I could do everything on my own. The employees recognized me as the next heir, and we worked together to run the inn. But life doesn't work out so well. A large typhoon caused a flood and landslide, which took out the entire tourist area. Our building was also damaged. They said it would be a few years before tourists would return to the area once it was fixed. My father decided to close the business after numerous discussions with his employees. "I'm sorry. It's my fault. You were willing to take over, but I'm also sorry to my employees." "It's not your fault. You've already found new jobs for your employees. No one has anything against you." I tried to find a job to cheer up my parents, who were devastated. The employees managed to get rehired through my father's connections, but because of the typhoon damage,
We can't hire any more people.
I was put on the back burner. As a result, I still haven't found a job. My parents say they'll work in the neighborhood, but they still have a long way to go until they're old enough to get a pension. I can't make them do any more after they've run out of spirit with the closing of the business. Don't worry, I'll work, so you two take it easy. You've been working all this time. You need to rest a little. I acted cheerful in front of them, but I was getting anxious because I couldn't find a job due to the recession. I'm sure there are jobs in the city, but I couldn't just leave them on my own. I went for an interview at a hotel that day as well. But I guess it didn't help that I was obviously exhausted and my face didn't have a lot of energy.
We don't want to hire poor people like you.
I have 13 years of experience at my family's inn. I'll do my best with sincerity for our guests, so please.
That family home was also ruined by the typhoon the other day, wasn't it? You're like a plague. If I hire someone like that, my house might go under too.
I was told on the spot that I wouldn't be hired. I have one more interview this afternoon, but I'm feeling so down it's not looking good. I finally understood how that mother and son felt. The feeling of wanting to look at the river from the bridge. They got back on their feet, but I don't know if I'll ever get back on mine. Can someone like me, who followed the path that was laid out for me without much hardship, be worth anything? Maybe it'd be easier to just give up on life. But if I'm gone, my parents will lose all hope. I can't let that happen! I managed to muster up the courage to go to the hotel, where I had an appointment that afternoon. I tried to smile and replied as cheerfully as I could, but the interviewer looked reluctant. "We will give you the result in the near future," I was told, but to be honest, I wasn't confident at all. No luck here either. Damn it, what am I gonna do? I was just trudging back home when... Ishida-san? You're Ishida-san, right? Who is it? Ah, I knew it! From that time! I turned around, and there stood a young man with a neat face. Oh! Are you Takeru by any chance? His gentle smile reminded me of him from over a decade ago. Yes! I'm Takeru Uchiyama! The one you saved along with my mother! You remembered me! How could I forget you? You've grown up! How's your mother? Is she doing well? Yes, she remarried the owner of an inn after that, and now she runs the inn as the proprietress. Proprietress? That's amazing! You took our recruitment exam, didn't you? The person in charge just showed me your resume, and I was so surprised that I came after you. Is this hotel yours? Takeru's mother took him with her after she divorced her husband and looked for a place where she could live and work. And the place they arrived at was a rusty inn. At first, the inn was sparsely populated except during the busy season. But Takeru's mother didn't give up.
I want to serve customers in a way that will remain in people's hearts, just like Ishida-san who helped us.
As a result of her hard work, the number of guests grew and grew, along with the inn's reputation. And the man that was running the business?
This is all thanks to you. I want you to be with me all the way.
He asked her to marry him. The man who ran the business is said to be the opposite of her ex-husband, a man of integrity, and they get along very well. We're doing so well that we decided to open a second branch. This is it. I've been in charge of running this place for 3 years now. I see. That's great. You and your mom are amazing. Unlike me, you guys have a bright future ahead of you. I've been called poor and even a plague. I can't even find a job. About that, please, work with us if you'd like. What? But, I honestly didn't get much out of the interview. The interviewer was impressed with your background and dedication, but was only concerned about your lack of energy. But an unlucky guy by myself? If you say it like that, we were poorer and more ill-fated in the past. I was moved, this time by Takeru's kind words. I've been dragged down by the criticisms I received at the interviews. How pathetic of me. I know your personality. I know you'll be fine. Please, come work for us. Please, let me repay you for what you did for us. After that, I was officially hired by Takeru's hotel and was able to work there. A while after I was hired, I took Takeru to my parents' house. I'm glad you're doing well.
You've grown up to be a great man.
They cried and rejoiced. I couldn't be happy that you're doing well, and the fact that you even came to see us. Thank you so much for that time. We were able to come this far thanks to you, Ishida-san. We've been working diligently to become honorable people like you. You are our benefactors and our goals. I also met Takeru's mother. Her skinny cheeks had plumped up, and she was in good spirits. She had become a beautiful and joyous proprietress.
I have never forgotten you or your father. I will repay your kindness even if it takes me a lifetime. Thank you so much.
I'm also grateful to you for hiring me. I'll work hard from now on. Takeru's hotel puts the customer first and is full of hospitality. For the sake of hospitality, employees should make their own decisions and act on their own initiative. That's the motto of the hotel. Thanks to this, I'm able to work to the best of my ability every day to bring smiles to our guests. I'm truly happy to work at such a rewarding hotel. It makes me happy as a manager to hear you say that. I look forward to working with you in the future. Yes, I'll do my best. Oh yeah, on a side note, the hotel that made fun of me for being poor went out of business before I knew it. I heard that they were selective about their customers and condescending to them, so I guess it's no surprise. I'm going to continue to support my parents and work hard. I'll become a great man like my father someday. Dad, Mom, stay healthy and watch for my success.